Remember 2007? Like, do you actually, or are you 12? Because I'm fucking old, dude. Anyway, depending on who you ask, FPS in 2007 were either revitalized and ushered in a new era of fun shooters, or FPS in 2007 marked the beginning of this is shit because COD 4 fucking happened and therefore it's the goddamn devil. Man, I'm gonna be honest, I don't fucking care, I just like video games. And whatever the fuck Timeshift is. Yeah, man, Timeshift. I only saw this game back in like 2012 when a friend rented it. He and another dude used to rent bad games every other week or so in high school, and I eventually joined in on this. We played like 10 minutes of Timeshift and went back to setting action figures on fire on one of the guys' back porch. Good times. But the game stuck with me for a while. By a while, I mean I completely forgot about it until I saw it on a shelf for $1 in 2019 and said,
yeah, alright, fuck it.
So we're gonna play the PC version, which is still fucking $20? Why the goddamn fuck? I do have the console version, but hooking up this capture card is work, and OBS is cool. You know, I'm not lazy, it's
how to enjoy.
Good one. Alright, let's... fuck. Okay, download this. Put it in the bin folder. Alright, if you're on console, turn off VSync, and if you're on PC, turn it on, and then Alt-Tab to a forum and gloat about how your 2020 machine can max run a 2007 game, and then start a new thread when you see 59 FPS for a millisecond talking about unoptimized garbage. Console players, you can skip this part and just get mad that you bought an Xbox in 2020 to play Timeshift. 3. Pick easy and only play for an hour. Like the first 7 levels. The first hour of Timeshift is honestly one of the best games ever made. And I'm going to go through and show you what each level does right. The game. You wake up in a dystopian city and you don't know where you are, and there's a guy talking to citizens on a giant TV and... Okay, I know what it looks like, but I'm not going to write a Half-Life line here. You get your first gun in 4 minutes and you kill someone right after, so A for effort on an FPS game, but nothing happens until your team gets blown up and your time suit takes you back to the past. And honestly, this can be skipped if you want to shoot stuff with a time suit, because you get none of your abilities here. Otherwise, atmosphere is gray and dreary, and yeah, I guess it looks oppressed, but I'm so numb to that sort of atmosphere after surviving the great apocalypse of the 2010s, so that doesn't work for me. This is where the fucking game starts. You get time powers and a playground to learn them before the game expands on it later. The time suit has 3 functions: time slow, time pause, and time rewind, which is pretty useless and just lets you relive those cringy high school years where you tried to fuck that thick substitute teacher. Yeah, I saw you doing that shit. The other function of the time rewind is so they can have a really cool explosion rewind here. Look, watch that, watch that. Yeah, that was cool, right? Yeah, that's the coolest thing to do with this fucking thing. Since the game uses a regenerating health mechanic, pause time can be used to speed up that process and make you heal almost instantly. It's also used to render environmental hazards non-hazardous and make OSHA shit itself in rage. Time slow is also time slow. Like, you ever play Max Payne? Like, bullet time? f.e.a.r. also. Yeah, that. Next up, the game answers my prayers and gives you a shotgun so you can have fun like... fuck is that animation? Yeah, physics puzzles with time. You know it's really hard not to talk about Half-Life. So the level starts and this guy needs to fuck off. And then there's a courtyard fight, which is pretty cool. And then there's a valve puzzle. God damn! This level experiments with more open environments and how your time powers can interact and influence the combat flow by putting you in control of it. This fight has never played out the same way for me, and trust me, I know, because I died like 3 fucking times trying to approach it in different ways. It's solid, but I'll go into why this doesn't really work later. Yeah, good level. Every time I start this level, I think, God, I'm getting kind of bored. I hope they do something neat. And then the game throws a giant mech capable of fucking one-tapping you, and it makes you run for your goddamn life, and it's one of the coolest set pieces I've ever seen. And if you don't agree, you are confirmed wrong. I am a YouTube man. My voice is fucking law. This level is the first half of my favorite section of the fucking game. Shut the fuck up. Level starts with a big-ass parking lot fight after gunning down 2 technicians because they weren't following OSHA protocol. Then you go on to fight the parking lot attendants and preventing them from ticketing my fucking car. I've been parked for 30 goddamn... This level is where the time gimmick really shines, and there's a couple scenarios where they really play with it. Alright, number 1, you have to reverse time and ride this crane thing across the way to progress. Number 2, pause time on this conveyor belt to get into the hatch underneath. Number 3, slow down time and get good at dodging laser rails. God! And number 4, slow down time enough to not get shredded by these goddamn auto turrets. If the ground floor was where the time abilities are good, then you know this has gotta be the good combat scenario, right? And they got a fucking space Roomba! This is my favorite level in the game, hands down. I know! I'm a sucker for shootouts in close quarters and glass panes. This game also has some primitive but fucking cool destructibility in its environment. Here's the fight going in the Castle Wolfenstein. And here's the fight when you're finally above it. But yeah, any level that lets me tear ass with shotguns and grenades and glass-filled rooms and a throne room has an automatic love for me. It has 2 space Roombas. Right around here is where the game starts to get stale. You gotta snipe these 4 things, and like, here's an entertaining one. But this is a good segue to... conclusion. Why doesn't Timeshift work past the first hour? Because much like me, when I'm on the clock, it does nothing with its skill set and expects a paycheck at the end. I've heard the term anal bead level design before, and it really applies to later parts of the game. More open areas are ferried to by corridor sequences that do a much better job of showcasing the game's strengths, shooting and timing. The beads in this anal string are not that fun. Time abilities don't necessarily work in open environments where your enemies are hit-scam happy boys and your suit drains time faster than a Time Crisis arcade cabinet. If only there were time stim pickups or an overdrive pickup or an HV charge you know, I almost made... A friend of mine is much more tuned into the idea of game design and has way more critical opinions than me. I asked him his thoughts, and he summarized the game very well. Timeshift was another classic case of a game with a truly unique concept that, like many other games in its class, was brought down by a multitude of reasons. Whether it be corporate connivery, engine limitations, or it simply being too ambitious for its time, touch wood, Timeshift tried to be so much in what little time it had. The absolute near perfection this first hour hits keeps me coming back with an ear-to-ear shit-eating grin. Ragdolls are gloriously early 2000s, shooting is cum-worthy, and the time abilities are actively used effectively outside of combat. If you see it for $1, I say try it, if only for the first hour, because I have been enjoying Timeshift. You could just pirate it or play f.e.a.r. instead.